strong together, we can't be denied. If one of us goes down, we have another, and another, and another that's ready to fight. So let's hit this field and bang them, bang them, bang them. Somebody, light me up.
It's time to huddle up. It's the Turf District Podcast. Welcome back to the Turf District, where we huddle up to talk all things Edmonton Elks and the CFL. Thank you for joining us. It is an annual tradition here that we wrap up the season with our two amazing guests that I'll be introducing very shortly. If you've taken some time to join us either on YouTube or Facebook or possibly on Twitch, make sure that you add your comments in. We will try to get to some of those throughout the show. This one is usually a little bit of longer haul, as we like to chat football, especially at the end of the year. And there's a few things that do come up. Possibly, though, you've also downloaded the podcast. Thank you very much. Or you may be catching us on Edmonton Sports Talk Radio. And if you are taking that time, thank you very much. Let's bring in one of the co-hosts for this evening. There she is. It is Commissioner Kayla. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Yeah.
You wearing your fancy new
turtleneck? I couldn't help myself. I couldn't do it.
And is it just as comfy as you want it to be?
Oh my God, it's so soft inside. It's ridiculously soft. But the funny story is, for those of you who weren't there, because it was only me and Andrew, I was at the team store inside the stadium. And no, I was in the stadium walking towards the team store, just, having a little gander. And I see in the window this crew neck. So I go inside. Yeah, I'm just going to check the price. I'll just check the price, see what's up. And who do I happen upon but Andrew? And he was like, oddly, did you see that crew neck right over there? And I was like, that's exactly why I came in here. He's like, I was going to take a picture for you and send it. No need now. It's like one mind.
That's right. I know what you like. See, that's how this works.
I've never ran into you in the store before.
I know. I was just about to let you know, and here you are. Okay, perfect. Well, and then 2 minutes later, look what I got. Okay, perfect.
They were having a sale.
Oh,
and I needed it for Grey Cup.
That's right. Excellent. I can appreciate that. Well, it's wonderful to have you here. Unfortunately, Mike is on the one show list, but we still have a ton to talk about this evening. First, let's bring in our other sister for this year. There she is, Linda. How are you, Linda?
I'm great, thanks. Good to see you guys.
Good to see you too. And glad you are here to wrap up our season and celebrate our fantastic, most popular segment of the year in First Down This Beer. It's been absolutely amazing. So I am very glad that you are here to join us. All right, let's bring in our guests, because they are the ones that we love having every year. We get them at the start of the year. We get them at the end of the year to talk all things Elks. It is our good friends from 880 Ched, which I've almost gotten used to saying now. It is Dave Campbell, Morley Scott, the voice of your Edmonton Elks. How are you doing, gents?
I'm good, thanks. How are you guys?
Very well.
Very well. Very well. I am glad that you are here, and we have lots of fun things to talk about. I'm glad that, I finally made it to that end of the year media day, and we were all gabbing, and we're like, oh, we're going to talk about this on Tuesday, and we're going to talk about this on Tuesday.
A lot of gabbing for sure. So
absolutely.
Well, before we continue, hello, Leon.
Very nice. Very nice.
Batman.
Also, before we continue, I'd like to apologize in advance because TV's over there. So it's 2-1 Jays in the 6. Get used to seeing my ear a little bit tonight as I glance over. So
best year I've ever seen. Best year ever.
I was gonna say, isn't that how Dave sees you all the time? Like,
Oh, that is true. Yeah.
No, I see him like this. What?
Oh, okay,
What?
that's fair. What? Pardon? Yeah. I mean, well, just tell me a little bit before we get into too much with the team. Calling the games this year, this is what your guy, the two of you, this is what year
15.
15?
15
Okay.
together. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
How, like, I'm impressed. I understand why you're in separate places as we talk, but still, what do you learn new 15 years doing this together?
About doing the games or about each other?
Both.
I don't know. I don't know what Dave's approach is, but I'm just trying to learn more about players, learn more about the craft, and still try to get better after all these years. You never have a perfect broadcast. So there's always something to work on, and that's kind of what I strive for. I settle down. This is the time now where I'll listen to a lot of NFL broadcasts and listen to a lot of different radio guys and just see what I can steal from them and use and see how they do things and move on from there. So for me, it's never ending. You always, every year I try to get better. Every year I try to make some changes and do things a little differently or do things a little bit better. Sometimes it works out. Sometimes it doesn't.
As long as you never change, let's light this rocket. I mean, you can't change that. That's got to stay forever.
No, that's a staple. That's going to stay.
Okay. Oh, perfect. Okay. That's like, welcome back to the Turf District where you huddle up and talk all, it's got to be the same thing. That's we appreciate that. What about you, Dave?
Well, I think I think for both of us, the one thing that's always pretty cool, and it's funny because I go back to our first day together doing games, and Morley and I have worked together in another sphere with the Oilers, right? When he was calling games and I was a tech producer back at the station. But this was the first time we're working together as a broadcast duo, and it's training camp on a Sunday, and we're looking at each other, we're walking around, we have no freaking clue what to do with each other, because look, bottom line with working with Halsey, you don't really work with him, you work for him. Yeah. And I love the guy and I learned so much from him, but Halsey marches to his own beat, and you don't honestly really know where you fit in that reality that of a Brian Hall led broadcast. He just goes, man, and you just have to okay, it's my turn. Okay. I think for Morley and I, he does his prep his way, and his prep is different than mine. And we don't really go into each other's yard unless we ask a question. And I'm asking him, hey, how would you handle this? Or he asked me, how would you handle this? I think that's it. And it's really cool on game day how it all kind of melds together. So, he's seen the same thing I've seen, or he's seen it differently than I've seen, or I've seen it differently than him. And I think that's pretty cool. And I think that's just working together for a while. We enjoy being around each other, and we know when to get away from each other. And, there you go. I mean, I'm slower and slightly, I'm really slow. So Morley's nice to slow down his Morley walk, where in the beginning I could keep up, and now it's, I will say one thing though. He takes the stairs every day at Commonwealth, and
Wow.
He challenged me to do the same thing. And in the beginning, and you have to admit this too, Morley, that I was taking the stairs way more than the elevator, but I was still taking the elevator.
Yeah.
Second half, I don't think I took it once. So
nice.
That was a nice bit of accomplishment. And I had to fight through some pain and stuff because, my knees aren't the best anymore. But no, working together has been fun, and I'm looking forward to year 16 and beyond.
Yeah. It seems to me like you guys, you just get that rhythm, right? You know who's doing what when, and it just sounds very smooth. Silky smooth, some would say, Dave.
Yeah.
But just saying. Okay, before we get into our full recap, I do want to talk a little bit about this the game this past weekend. Not a lot, because it's not not a lot of exciting stuff to talk about, but there's a couple of little fiery notes. So the Elks wrap up their season, losing 20-10 to the Stamps. I thought the defense had a decent game. There were some fresh faces that came out and did well, including guys like Jalen Calhoun. Still results in the loss in the end. Not exactly how they wanted to finish the season. So, Dave, I'm going to give you the floor right up front. To what do you want to talk about in this game?
It was a little disappointing. I'll say that.
It was.
I think Mark Killam was disappointed. I think Ed Hervey was disappointed. I think there were a lot of players on that team that were disappointed. It wasn't what I expected, because I thought I would have a little more, or see a little more guys checked in.
Yeah.
I think there are a few passengers on that night. Not many, but a few. And I'll give credit to the defense, because it looked like they were flat in that first drive, and then they checked in. They did give up a few explosions, but overall, they drove Vernon Adams crazy. And Dave Dickinson crazy, and Diedrich Mills had a good night. And he did make some big plays, VA. I mean, I think his average per attempt or completion was almost 12 yards. So that was good. But, this team who lost Cordell Jackson on the first drive and then lost Joe DeBlanco, you didn't notice. Like, you didn't notice that Ateva Mawaga Clements took over. You didn't notice Darrell Cummings was at safety that moved Jalen Garnes to Cordell's old position, or his old position at short half. So offensively, I mean, Cody Fajardo did extremely well. I mean, he was the highest rated or highest graded quarterback from PFF last week. He had I think it was 90.2. He was outstanding. And this is with 3/5 of that offensive line not there as far as their starting group, which struggled anyway. But, Ivy left the game early. They didn't have, O'Donnell was dressed but did nothing much. And then they had Greg Island in for Brett Boyko. He still got almost 300 yards passing. They can't run the football, and we can talk about the run game. It was frustrating this season. And special teams, they were physical. They were very good on cover, and yet they got 2 kicks blocked, and that was tough to watch. So there was some good, like Calhoun popped, Hilaire popped. Fajardo certainly was outstanding, I thought. A lot of good play on defense. Special teams was a little bit of a downer. And I like what Mark Killam said on our post-game show after the game. Is I asked him, how much does this go into the evaluation process at year end with your exit meetings? He says that everything is evaluated, including this, and this will get talked about. And there's going to be some hard conversations with some players tomorrow. I like that a lot.
Yeah, very true, very true. What about you, Morley?
A lot of the same stuff. Fajardo was real good, and Dave mentioned 3 of 5 O-linemen. 3 of his top 5 receivers were also out of the game as well. So he had different targets. He didn't get great protection because of what was going on in front of him. So he played a very strong game, and I think I'm looking forward to seeing him again. I hope everything works out, that he's back next year and at the helm. Defense for me was the story. Well, a couple of the stories. Defense, I like how they regrouped. It was kind of the same story in the game as they've had during the season. I mean, the slow start, and then they got pretty good as the game went along. I was really impressed by the way they played, because first off, the guys that weren't in the lineup when the game started compared to later in the game when they even lost a couple of more guys. And basically their best players on defense were pretty much out of the game, give or take a couple of guys, right? So they were beat up, but they still managed. And I think that's the reason for those explosion plays that Dave talked about for the most part with new guys in there. But they played a strong game. I really liked what they played. And to me, that I saw the best, the most perfect punt in CFL history, maybe a 61-yard punt that rolled out inside the 1-yard line. So Jake Julian was good. The cover team was excellent. They did a great job getting downfield quickly, and Julian did a great job punting. So there's some things I like, but it was a game that, as much as you say it meant something, it didn't mean anything, right? As much as everybody wanted to play well, and I don't believe any of the players didn't try or weren't all into it. I just think it just happens, right? When you're in that situation naturally. It's just like anything you do at your job. If you know it doesn't really matter to the bottom line a lot of times, maybe the effort isn't quite there, or you do things differently. I won't say effort, because I always believe players give the maximum effort, especially in football, because you can get injured if you're not given maximum effort all the time. So it was just a kind of a blah game to me, especially after they got down early, and they're not a team that comes back very well. I mean, they haven't shown that a lot, especially when they get down by double digits. So, it was game 18 of a season where they missed the playoffs, and I think everybody's looking forward to game 1 of next year more so than anything else. So, yeah, it was just an interesting night. We did see a few things, but it was an interesting night. But I probably got what we should get in a game in that kind of situation. The week before, Calgary was playing Toronto, and Toronto was in the same position out of the playoffs, playing their final game of the year. I'd like to commend the Elks, because they showed up a lot better than the Argos showed up the week before. Man, they didn't look very good at all in that game. So there is that aspect of it. But it was just another game that got kind of slipped away. And by the end of the game, you kind of think, we probably all got what we deserve tonight.
Yeah, probably. Linda, I know you had talked, because you were in BC for that game, and you were talking about some of the guys not looking like they were into it, and it kind of carried over a little bit to Friday night. Did you find that, or other things that you noticed?
Well, I did feel like I was much further from the bench in my own seat at Commonwealth than I was in Vancouver. I was about a mile away from the bench, but I did feel that they had some life this time. So I thought they did address some of the energy bits. So that made me happy. It was a beautiful fall night for football.
It really was.
If we'd have been sitting out in misery, I might have felt differently. But I agree with Morley. It would have been nice to get that other home win, but I also feel we got what we got, and I wasn't mad. I'm already on game 1 of next year.
I think we talked about this a little bit after the game. Was just, I know it wasn't the win, but it just, I don't know if it's just because there was the 5 wins at home this year, or what it was, but it just feels more hopeful at the end of this particular one. And we'll talk about the media avails in a second after, which that also gave, some questions for sure, but also some hope there. Kamish, what about you?
I think Dave kind of said it exactly how I was feeling. Like, no disrespect to any of the players, but to me, it did feel like a bit of a checkout game, like a little lackluster, mostly just on the offensive side. The defense kind of held the game together once again. It was what it was. I just felt kind of very bland football again, with like no disrespect to a ref, because I would never want to be a ref and I feel bad for them. But this is the 3rd game in a row that I explicitly saw some just terrible calls or lack thereof. So it always brings the game down, like I'm a few mistakes here and there on both sides. There's a holding that was missed, and then holding on the next team's miss. Like, you kind of ebb and flow with those, but I just felt like the last couple of games have been pretty horrendous, and you don't want to add to that. Like, you don't want to dogpile, but because it's been a little bit more consistent, I'm really not enjoying the football as much. And it would have been just nice to kill some dreams a little bit. Like, the Elks at least could have done that for us. Y'all know I love VA. He's a friend, but there's pettiness there. And I wanted a bit of a little check on reality for the Stampeders, but it is what it is. Like Linda said, it was a beautiful tailgate, gorgeous night for a tailgate, true football weather. But yeah, I just wish there was a little bit more, because it's nice to look forward to the next season, and there's a lot of growth throughout the year, but I think I would have been more on a high if it was a win. Just like last year, it felt really good.
Winning's fun.
Yeah, winning
Especially when you don't do it as often as a lot of other people.
So true. Dave, you and I talked about it a little bit on Saturday, but as Kayla talks about the questionable calls. Shall we talk about the Justin Rankin fumble?
I think we're going to.
Okay, good. Good. I saw that you had. I know you're very passionate. I understand that. But I saw your breakdown on Twitter where, according to the rule, it's a fumble forward and it probably should have been at the 1. And the only reason I think that Rankin didn't jump on the ball, yes, he should have. That's fine. But the only reason he didn't is because the ref had his hands up signaling touchdown and the whistle was gone. So.
Yeah.
How
that's a dead ball, right? I believe.
When
the whistle blows, especially, right?
Right. Yeah. So that doesn't mean the other team can pick it up and then they recover it. I don't understand that at all.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna sit back and enjoy this.
That's why I just set this one up so that we could all just sit back and enjoy it.
I did have a good
go, Dave.
I'm not as opinionated on social media as I used to be. Everyone knows that I really was at one point, and I had diarrhea of the fingers. So if I'm doing that, then I'm really not happy, right? So first of all, let's establish this. The CFL admitted, I think before halftime, I think the supervisor or someone went up to GM Ed Hervey and said, we got it wrong. We screwed up.
Really?
Doesn't make you feel better, but at least you get the admission. Okay. So the immediate fumble, like, okay, I'm confused.
The immediate recovery? Yeah.
Immediate recovery.
Yeah.
So I asked Gord, did you see it? The touchdown sign, Gord Hines, he's on our sideline, or the Elks sidelines, our sideline guy. He says, yeah, the referee single touchdown.
Yep.
Dead ball, or the play's dead. So
yes.
What is reviewable is, did Justin Rankin break the plane of the end zone before the ball was out? Okay, he didn't. Again, that should be dead play, right?
That was my understanding.
It should be on the 1 yard line, and the Elks hopefully got the touchdown, right?
And there were 2 referees who had their arms in the air.
There were 2 referees.
So
exactly.
Everybody had a chance to see it.
So to me, it didn't make any sense at all that they ignore that part of it. And that's the thing that bothers me. Why are we ignoring everything that happened on the field? The referee, 2 of them, signaled touchdown. Okay, it wasn't. And did all the players, start celebrating and all that? Yeah, because they thought it was a dead ball, or the play was dead because there was a touchdown. Now, the one thing that bugged me, because I watched this a few times, is Justin Rankin is looking at the ball.
Yeah.
Get the ball. The ball's out. It's loose.
Right.
At least jump on it, right?
Yep.
But guess what happened? Oh, this happened.
Yeah, he looked at the ref. That's the thing. He went down to get it, and then he turned and saw the ref with his arms in the air and went, "Oh, I don't need to."
I think the ball didn't bounce quite as high as he thought it would too. Like, he kind of reached and it just kind of didn't get into his hands. And then I think he realized, oh, it's a touchdown. So let's party.
Exactly.
But it's what did you say, Linda? 3 games in a row that we've had this, or
yeah. Kayla said 3 games in a row with.
Or Kayla, sorry. Yeah.
Very interesting calls. Yes.
Yeah, it's annoying. And the Hilaire no catch I thought was a catch, but I don't know. But really it's just that play. And we can shorten fields and put the goalposts at the back all you want. If you keep doing this crap and you keep officiating this way and that replay center can't interpret the damn rules, people are gonna turn away.
Preach.
Because here's the thing. The rule changes will not sell 1 ticket. Okay? But you will lose fans if you keep doing this crap. Okay? And the replay center needs to be clearly established. Now, here's the thing. Final 3 minutes of a game, they review everything, because everything's an auto review. Every play is reviewable to them. So they can intervene. So that's why they intervened when Jordan Williams had the roughing the passer in Hamilton. I mean, kind of
Yes.
sucked that, it wasn't on field, but the process was correct. But there's a lot of gray area, or there's just not gray area, it's just a lot of, it's just people in that room not doing their jobs, and I don't understand it. Okay, and I'm not saying I know more than an official, but the rules are there, and they clearly state what is and what isn't. The two refs signaled touchdown. The play's dead. Okay, so all you can review at that point is, did Justin Rankin break the plane of the end zone, or was the ball out? Okay, at least that's what I believe I understand. But I mean, the league already admitted by halftime they messed up. So it's really irritating.
And a huge momentum swing in that game, because that would have made it 13-7. Well, assuming Blanchard gets the point after 13-7. That's a big difference than 16-3 or whatever it was, or 10-3, no, 10-3, 10-7, 10-3, something like that. No. Anyway, it was just it would have made a huge difference in the game.
And in general, I don't really have much of a problem with the on-field officiating. No one's going to be happy with everything that happens in a game. The replay center, I don't understand how they interpret calls, and it's not just Elks games; it's every game. Right?
Yes, agreed.
It's a lot of games. It's any game. You could cherry pick anything right now.
I don't know how many times I've watched a game this year, and it goes to the replay booth, and you see the replay on TV, and you go, "Oh, that's a catch. That's clearly a catch, right? Or that's clearly no catch." And then the command center comes back with the opposite, and you're like, "How do they How do they figure that out?" Like, to me, on the O.J. Hilaire one, his hand was cupping the ball. It was underneath the ball. And when he rolled over top, you could see his hand underneath the ball. I don't think the ball ever touched the ground. And it just, I don't know how they couldn't see that, but they didn't. Or they chose to ignore what they saw, one or the other.
Or what how do you not call it a first down when the guy got 2 yards on 3rd and 1? And they don't anyway, there's a lot of calls that I'm just like, really? That doesn't make any
I think what the command center has to define more than anything else is the words clear and obvious.
Yes.
Because they picked those words, like those are the words they chose, but they don't abide by those words, because a lot of stuff that I've seen and they have changed or not changed was pretty clear and obvious. Like, it was pretty clear and obvious. There was 2 referees with their arms in the air. I don't know. Maybe they didn't see him because the goalposts were in the way. I don't know.
That's funny. That's exactly what Mike said. That's what he would have said, is that, maybe the goalposts are in the way. The other part of that is that I would really like for that command center to be replay center, whatever they're calling it now. Have it where you can hear what they're talking about or look at what they're seeing, because
or they give an explanation when they're done.
Right. Yes, something, because it just doesn't make sense. Like, none of it makes sense. And that's just probably the most frustrating part, is just actually make it make sense to me, because this does not make sense to me. So,
well, they were watching the Jays game.
Well, probably. Yeah, probably. That's the replay center. Yeah, probably.
3-1 Toronto now in the 7th.
They were all ears, like Morley.
What? Okay. All right. Let's get away from that, because what we're really here to talk about is the season recap, and recap our 2025 season on what we thought happened with the team, kind of where things went. I want to start, you guys, with a fairly easy one, but I just want to get your overall thoughts on the coaching group this year. Mark Killam's first year. Obviously a bunch of new coaches, some very new coaches, and some that have been around in different teams, but in their same roles. Just give me a general feel, what you thought about the coaching staff, and what you would kind of, I don't want to say grade them, but give me an idea of where you thought they landed. Morley, let's start with you.
Young, passionate, want to win, want to learn. I think we saw them grow as the season went along. And I think that's going to be a really good coaching staff. I think that I like the fact that they're all kind of around the same age for the most part, and the same kind of experience in their roles, and I think that they're going to get much better as they move forward. Mark Killam said he learned a lot this year. I love the phrase when he talked about he had trouble, getting his, what did he say? He had trouble quieting my special teams voice, so my head coach voice could come out a little bit more. So he's obviously going to be better at what he does because he's learned a lot this year. The learning curve is tough the first year. No matter how long you've been in the league, I think the learning curve is tough as a first year head coach. And I really like the way he handled himself. I like the way the rest of the coaching staff handled themselves. Sure, they probably made some I don't want to say wrong, but judgment calls and on plays that, they're never wrong calls because they're only wrong calls if they don't work, right? If they work, they're, it's like everyone's like, oh man, he went on 3rd and 2 in the shotgun, like, oh, and then Rankin runs 60 yards for touchdowns. Like, it's okay, then that was a good call, right? So I think it's going to be a good coaching staff in the future. I'm looking forward to see how they develop and how much more they can add to the team. The one thing that I got is how much the players really enjoyed Mark Killam's coaching style and the way he talked to them. And so many times this year after tough losses, especially after the 2 walk-offs they lost in Hamilton and Toronto, how I heard so many guys say Mark Killam got us ready for the week. I mean, he set the tempo early in the week. He was able to explain the situation and help them, put it in the past and move forward. So I heard a lot of good things about his coaching from the players throughout the season. So that's, to me, is clearly a good sign. And I think Mark Killam is everything that we expected, everything that we've been waiting for as he finally gets his first chance to be a head coach.
Awesome. What about you, Dave?
Yeah, I echo the same things as Morley. I mean, first time head coach, and I think it was exhibit A of you could be the assistant coach for as long time here, and he was for 20 years with the Stampeders. Being a head coach is really different, right? You have so many hats, and Morley mentioned them. The special teams voice and the head coach voice and the responsibilities that he has, and dealing with media, learning that part of it, which he did a really good job throughout the year. And it's funny, we were talking to Montreal, and the elevators were slow, and he was trying to get up to one of the floors. I think his TSN did a sit down, or doing sit down interviews, and he's like, boy, by this time in the past I was already up the street getting a sandwich and coming back, and I'm like, yeah, I can imagine this is very different. But I said, you're handling it very well. They work hard, and they are very good at evaluating themselves before anything else. After losses, after wins, they get to work, and they get to work right away. What I love about this staff led by Mark is they're willing to coach, right? They're willing to, and we've seen how it's been done in the past where, it's that transactional type coaching where, let's get our 95 plays in and we're good. There's no time to coach, right? And this group does not coach by fear, does not coach and get upset when mistakes happen. They coach through those mistakes. They're willing to coach you, right? Which is good. So I thought that was really cool. They care a lot about the players, this coaching staff. The players, obviously care about them, and like a good example is JC Sherritt. So week 1 in BC, in Vancouver against the BC Lions, it was like a 7-3 deficit or something like that. And then JC Sherritt starts blitzing like crazy. And we're like, why is he doing this? Like everything was under control. He didn't have to go blitz happy. But he learned throughout the season. I mean, proof's in the pudding. First 5 games, they gave up 32.5 points per game. And then the rest of the way, it was, somewhere in the 20 to 22 point range. That's incredible. That's cutting that total by 2 possessions. That's incredible, and that's what they've been doing. And we'll see. I mean, it's probably too early. And someone asked him, you want the same group back next year to Mark? And he says, well, we're still evaluating that. I like that approach, right? Like
that was me. I asked him that.
Oh, you asked that. Yeah.
Great question.
I'm sure.
I was waiting for Dave. Some idiot asked him this. Yeah, it was me. Yeah,
I would never say that. But I'm sure most, if not all, will be back, right? And we'll see what happens. But I think it was really, really neat to see Mark from, day one of camp till, what we saw on Saturday with the final media session of the season, just how much he's grown as a head coach. I think he's on the right track himself with his coaching staff.
Yeah, very true. Very true. Good Lord, dog. Okay, I'm getting mauled by my dog to get Pat here. Wilson wants to get in on the action. Linda, Commissioner, anything on the coaching staff from you guys?
Well, the coaching staff put me on a roller coaster this year for sure. Echo everything said about Coach Killam. I just love how he presented, and I love that the guys really liked his style. Well, I think I could see leadership there rather than coaching by fear or fear of attrition and here's the gate. He was building something, and to me that was really apparent. Probably the coach I was most annoyed with during the year was Maximic. But even if you're playing the long game instead of just 4 quarters, I think I can see what he was working towards. But in those quarters, my head exploded a few times. And JC, I was just cheering for him. Don't make me not like you, JC. And I think he kind of jumped the shark, and he's doing great. I think back to the observation in Vancouver, a number of our coaches were former players, and they were acting like players in a bad mood, in a slump, instead of acting like leaders. So I think they have some notes probably from that game, how to keep people encouraged and vibrant and playing. But I hope we don't see many changes either. I think we're gelling.
Outstanding. Commish, anything from you?
Yeah, it's really nice to see the growth. I'm with Linda with the Maximic train. It is frustrating when you do see some changes be implemented and then it reverts right back to that style of coaching. I think that was my biggest frustration, is you have these like one little glitzy play here and there and it works, but then you go right back to similar playing or not running the ball enough or just something so conservative and vanilla. It was just really boring to watch sometimes, and it's frustrating when you see that. But again, you got to give it to, this is a whole new coaching staff. We understand that. And like you guys already said with JC Share, it is such a privilege to watch the growth before your eyes. When you're looking at the beginning and saying, what are you doing? And then at the end, you're just like, bravo. Is that not what you want in a coach? Like that growth, to actually see it before your eyes? Like, it's such a privilege. And especially since he was the green and gold as a player. So it's come full circle, and I just hope that each year he stays and he gets better and better, and they all start to have that chemistry together with their players. And Dave, you said coach through the mistakes, and I absolutely love that, because I remember during training camp, I can't remember which coach or which player. I don't even know if this player is still there, but he had pulled a player aside. And usually you can tell if they're being preached at or if they're being led through a decision. And this guy, there's plays going all over. He stayed with that player, pointing out, instructing, teaching. And I remember talking about that at the beginning of the year. And I was like, that is something special. I like that. That is what I want to see in a team. Like, yeah, sometimes you got to be hard. You got to be a little tough, but good teachers will always tell you the truth, but then give you an alternative how to play, how to work with your truth, but how to work with the teams, so it all kind of bleeds together, right? Like, it's nice to see that you take a player and you position them for a win rather than you're doing what I say and that's it. And I felt like Chris Jones was very much like, you play by my rules and that's it, rather than affording them some grace and some leeway. And RIP a 2 days, like, peace and good riddance. But I like to see that growth, and even with Killam, like the beginning of the year, a little behind the scenes, very passionate and fiery, but that passion and fiery is still there, but it was kind of like brought back a little reined in, and it just looks very professional because you want to see that fire, but you also want to see it in a very restrained is not the right word. I don't like that word. I don't know what the word is, but he did it, and that's great. Sorry?
Mature.
Yes, that is good. Yes, in a mature fashion. So with the coaching staff, it really did look like they were coming together as a team and as a squad and cheering each other on rather than working in specific departments. It kind of looked more cohesive as the time went on. Yeah, so the future is bright, knock on wood, but it looks like we are seeing a team that we want and need.
Yeah. No, it's very true. I agree with all those things. And one of the things that you were saying there is, a leader cares about his people that he's leading, or her. They are leading. I should be very, fair about that. They care about their people, but they hold them accountable.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
That's what I saw Killam doing.
Yeah.
And that's the part that I really like, is that he's caring about them and telling them where to be, but he's holding them accountable to being there when they need to be. And that's the part that I like. So lots of great things there. All right, let's switch over to offense, because there's lots of fun things to talk about there. Morley, you get to go first this time. What did you think on the offensive side of the ball throughout the year?
Not good enough for a lot of the year, especially early. It got better as the season went along, but I really think when Stephen Dunbar got injured, that took that deep threat out, or the big play guy out of the picture a little bit. They missed Stephen Dunbar for the final games that he didn't play. The run game, to me, and the phrase I keep using over and over, is feast or famine, right? It's either a loss of yard, or 60 yards, right? It seemed to be they just couldn't get that consistent run game going. And full credit to Rankine. He had a great year and a fantastic year, and 1,000-yard runner and more touchdowns than any Edmonton player since, I think, 2018, when Riley had 13 as well. So he had a great year. It could have been better. You think about, he had close to 1,100 yards, right? I think I'd have to go back and check, but just off the top of my head, I can think of about 4 games, I think, where he had 0 or 1 yard in the game, right? Including the game the other night, right? So think of the numbers he could have put up if he could have, had a more consistent, game in and game out, been able to get. And it's not, I say him, but it's not just him. Obviously, he needs some help making holes. He needs some help blocking. Needs some help blocking downfield and everything. But yeah, it's the numbers could have been staggering if he didn't have. I think there's 4 games where he had probably under 10 yards. In rushing, and add an average game in there, and his numbers are extremely good, right? He's challenging for the league lead in rushing. So to me, that was the biggest issue. I think the biggest thing they got to do moving forward is find that deep threat guy. I like Keon Julian Grant to a certain extent. He had a really good season, maybe the best of his career. He's still young and coming, but they need a guy. They need a guy, and they just didn't have a guy this year that went out and got the ball. And maybe Odu Hilaire is going to be that guy, because the more he played, the more I liked him. He just got better and better as his time with the team moved on. And don't forget, he didn't have a training camp. He didn't have first half of the season. He got here, and 2 weeks later, he was starting in the Labor Day game and moving from one position to the other a couple of times. So I'm looking forward to seeing him after a full training camp and a full season, and really he's got the chance to be I think a top receiver in this league. So I don't know who's coming back. Curly Gittins is up. I'm guessing Stephen Dunbar is up as well. So we'll see who comes back and who doesn't, and who they bring in. As we've often talked about, Ed Hervey doesn't go out and get big free agent receivers, but he finds big receivers. That's for sure. If you go back and look at his track record as a scout and as a GM, he's brought in some of the best receivers this league has seen in the last 10 or 12 years. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that hole gets filled, because it needs to get filled next year. Offensive line, I'm just going to say they didn't have a great year. They'll have a better year next year. I don't know if we need to, I think they'll look at the tackle spots for sure. But I think it's just a group of guys who will be better next year. I just think they didn't have a great year. And the addition of Carter O'Donnell for a full season is going to make them, I'm already going to vote for him as their most outstanding offensive lineman next year. I wanted to this year, but he just didn't play enough games. Right. So I think I'm willing to cut the O-line some slack and just say it just didn't work this year, but they're good players, and I think they'll be a better O-line next year. And again, everyone seems to think they'll maybe look at the tackle spot and see if they can make a move there or not. I'm not sure if they have to or they will, but we'll see what happens down the line.
Dave?
Well, it was frustrating at times for sure. I mean, the first 5 games, and with Trey Ford at quarterback, I don't want to throw everything on Trey, but the results, he was a dice roll. And that's the problem with Trey Ford, is he's a dice roll. You don't know what you're going to get, not just game to game, but drive to drive. And it's too erratic. The only really good game he had was in Winnipeg, and it wasn't a full game, but he was able to push the ball downfield, and he looked good for most of that game. The perfect quarterback rating against Ottawa, the first one of the season, was really masked by the fact he didn't have to do very much, because it was pitches ahead, it was jet sweeps, end arounds, it was swing passes. Rank had a really good game, Leak had a good game. I think Curley got a touchdown, but it was so erratic, and when they made the switch to Cody Fajardo, I think you saw the offense get much more calmer. The voice is more commanding, and I would say demanding. And it's funny because Cody brought up Trey's voice, and he said, "You have to show them you care. I know you care, but you have to show everyone else you do care, because you are too much like this." And so it was like Ricky Ray, but he knew what to say, when to say it, and make that huddle go, okay, all right, command. Trey never had the command. Cody has the command, right? His peaks might not be as high as Trey. His valleys are not as low. He is very much like this. So Cody gave him good starts. I mean, I look at the PFF grades, and I think he was 5 or 6 overall, but he was like 80, like low 80s grade. That's excellent. I mean, quarterback play this year was pretty good across the league. The run game was, and not to repeat what Morley said, I don't want to do that, but let me take this another way. Predictable, like crazy. Yeah, when they had 6-7 man protect, not just that, Andrew, but yes, but when they had 6-7 man protection, so they bring in Mark Evans or Gregor McKellar, both of them. That's a clear sign, clear as day. We're running. Right. So what would happen? Because a lot of this was last year when they, it was Jacob Zott and Grahovic. It worked so well, but defenses adjusted, because what did defenses do? They blitzed the 6th and 7th O-linemen, and then a spy was on Rank, and unless Rank beat the angle, he was shut down. So it was feast or famine for sure. It was just too predictable. And, I read a comment, late in the season from Jordan Maximic saying, me and Steven Sorrells are just trying to get on the same page. The offensive line and run game coordinator. We're learning how to work together. So you just kind of wonder if there was just, I wouldn't say friction, but just not really on the same page all season when it comes to the run game. Their offensive line has to be better, right?
Yep.
Their best guard or their best player was Carter O'Donnell, who started 5 games, and that changed a little bit of the complexion, because he's nasty, man. Like he's a mean SOB. He is really mean. But even he struggled a bit, right? Because there are times where guys would get past him, but he was really good. The tackle play is very concerning to me, because how does Martez Ivy, for one, and Brett Boyko, but Martez Ivy was not just the best tackle in the league, he was the probably best offensive lineman, and gave up the most pressures in the league from a tackle, from the tackle spot. Brett Boyko was second. Okay. That's just, you can't have that. You just cannot have that.
Nope.
The middle, I think it'll be better. I think David Beard, Mark Cordy, Carter O'Donnell, they'll get better. But they got to address that tackle spot. And can you find a way to run with 5-man protection?
Mm-hmm.
Can you do that? Right? You got to be more dynamic in the run game next year. The receiving core, it was just really but not good enough, right? And
really okay.
They Curly Gittens was their best graded receiver, and he was in the 60s. And the play matches it. I love Keon Julian Grant, but you don't get enough from him, right? He leaves you wanting more, but yet he got 130 yards this year. I'm going, okay, wait a second, right? There's something there, right? I do think Ed should go out and get maybe a veteran. Now that's the thing, though, is he's not going to pay for, top dollar for a receiver. However, if there's someone that he has brought in the league and that really likes him, you might be able to get a good receiver at a good price, right? But they do have some good young talent.
Might you be referring to, Dave?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's a little older, but Keon Hatcher would be nice. But I don't know. I haven't seen the free agent list, so, and you know how I feel about that anyway. Don't ask me until the week before free agency what I think might happen. Well, we already know what will happen because the tampering period happens and they all sign anyway. So free agency is really boring. But anyway,
the Ed Hervey window, yes.
Yeah. What's tampering?
So I'm sure we're going to bring it up with the quarterback stuff. But if you bring Cody back, which I do think is a very good possibility, you got to give him the template he had in Montreal when they won the Grey Cup in 23. You give him a very good O-line with a couple stud receivers that can threaten defenses and a serviceable run game. Oh, they got a good one because they have Rankin. And then have a really good defense.
Yeah.
You have a Grey Cup formula.
That's very true.
If I could throw one more thing out about Trey Ford. Trey Ford was in a tough position, I thought, at the start of the year, because to win games, he had to score 35 points because that defense was giving up 30 a game. If you compare him, and I know Ed Hervey talked about it too. He said, or Mark Killam, didn't want to make it a him versus him kind of thing. But if you compare the 2 years, Cody Fajardo was playing with a much better team than Trey Ford was for the first 5 games. And I think that showed in the results in the games too. So there is that to think about as well. Trey Ford, like I said, had to get 35 points to win a football game in the first 5 games of the year.
Yeah, and that is true. That definitely plays a role. But part of that, though, is that he couldn't keep the offense on the field, and the defense was giving up more points. I mean, I think that's kind of a chicken and an egg conversation, I guess we could have, but I agree. He did need to score more points. So before we move off of the offense, at the media avails, the talk was Cody Fajardo said it, then Mark Killam said it, then Ed Hervey said it. You look at a guy like Trey and you think, he's very athletic and I think he'd be a quarterback in this league, but maybe a change of scenery might be the best thing for him. And it definitely sparks a lot of conversation as to, is Trey Ford a member of the Edmonton Elks next year? We don't know about Cody Fajardo. Again, like we said, we all hope that he has those conversations with his family and wants to continue to play football. And then we know that he's likely coming here. But we got to give the man the time to have those conversations. But just gut feel, do you think Trey Ford is here or not? Dave?
No.
Morley?
If Cody Fajardo is here, Trey Ford won't be. And if Cody Fajardo decides to retire and not come back, then this is the best place for Trey Ford to be a starting quarterback. So maybe they'll have to sit down and have a long meeting. But I think Cody's probably coming back, and I don't think Trey will be back next year.
Okay. Linda, what do you think?
Yes.
You think you will be back? Okay.
Yes.
Commissioner?
No one talk about it.
I don't.
No, I haven't. Yeah, I think Morley is spot on that one. Unfortunately, if it's a double-edged sword, right?
It is, and so Dave, you and I were. I was speculating with you on Saturday about how do they move if they are going to move with Trey Ford? Do they look at, then does it become a package deal? Which is going to go to a bit of our next conversation, which is about the defense. And that I want to talk about how the defense played. But one of the things that came out, and this isn't surprise, this is very much an Ed Hervey thing, that linebackers are replaceable, and that they're you try to save, you want to save money there, but still have really good players. We have 4 linebackers, probably more than that, but 4 for sure that are really for 2 spots in Nick Anderson, Niles Morgan, Joel DeBlanco, and now Brock Mogensen, all playing very well. So now the thought is there a package deal to be had where they're shipping like a Trey Ford and possibly a Niles Morgan off so that they can get a player back? Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so we're gonna go down this rabbit hole with the assumption Cody Fajardo's coming back, right?
Correct. Yes, we are. Yes.
Nothing is going to be decided until that shoe drops.
Yes.
I think with Trey Ford, it's about, we talked about this, Andrew, you and I in the dressing room. As a starting quarterback, and you may not like this, the rest, but I think it's true. As a starting quarterback, there is no market for Trey Ford in this league. None. Zero. Right. However, because I think in 2026 he has to resign himself to the fact you're a backup. You're back up somewhere. I think he does have some more value as a backup than he does as a starter. But could you sweeten the pot a little bit and get something back? Niles would be hard because he's a pending free agent, I believe. And I think he made 145 this past season. Mm-hmm. So that could easily come off the books. Nick Anderson makes around the same money, or due to make the same money. Then they get DeBlanco and Mogensen on basically, first year deals. I think DeBlanco's making closer to 80, Mogensen's around 70. But yeah, I mean, I think, could there be some wiggle room there as far as, what return you would get if you can insert maybe, one of those players? And I think it's Nick Anderson or Niles Morgan, but if, I think Nick Anderson would be the one I would put in there. And again, I don't know if that'll happen or not, but if you really want to sweeten the pot, and this is your suggestion, Andrew, throw Tyrell Ford in the mix too, because I believe he is under contract for 26. Now, he may want to play with Trey, or he might say, you know what, I like it here, I'm going to stay, right? Who knows? I don't know. The other possibility is, what if you can't trade him? You just got to let him go. I mean, he's got a bonus due sometime in January or February 1st. He's not going to see it. He's just not. Yep. So, look, Cody Fajardo said he wants to be back. Mark Killam, when I asked him, who do you want under center in 26? He answered the question quite bluntly and plainly as you could get. I want Cody Fajardo.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was very clear. Yeah.
And Ed Hervey, who, he said, look, I want him back, but we got to fix some of the roster. The roster's not where we want it, but we would like to have him back if we can. And, more of a measured response, because that's Ed. But so it's tricky because Trey as a starter, there is, in my opinion, zero market for him. No one is interested. No one is interested to put the work in to make him a starter, because I think we see all the flash and the dash and his ability to make plays. Look, how much did we see that this year? And I realize he was in a new offense and all that stuff. Defenses are very good at defending him now, right? which goes back to what you're
Amen.
saying, Andrew, is too many negative plays, right?
Mhm.
But I think as a backup, like I was listening to 3 Down Pod, and I think it was JC that made a really good point, and I agree with it. What if he's the backup to Nathan Rourke?
Right.
I'm like, that's a perfect spot for him. Now, do you want to trade him there? But I'm like, it's a 19 league anyway, so you got to eventually, play ball with someone you don't want to. But yeah, that's where I see it right now. So it's just, can you get something of value for Trey Ford? But you're going to probably have to put something in that trade to sweeten the pot.
Yeah, well, what if it was Winnipeg, where he's a backup to Polaris? Like, I mean, another possibility, right? Like, there are some.
Yep.
All I'm saying is that I'm not a GM, and I don't know any of the GMs, but I'm a guy looking back, going, in my comfortable armchair, can we make this deal? Like, I wonder if it should be interesting to see where that ends up.
Okay, we've been talking trades. When was the last time there was a CFL trade? When was the last time there was a significant CFL trade that helped both teams?
Flo Ormolade for Cam Judge. So it does happen.
Yeah.
It does
okay,
happen.
so
Jake Seresna for Curly Gittins Jr.
But
it doesn't happen very often, right?
No.
It
so I don't know if that's going to be part of the fix or not. I think one thing that's going to play out in the quarterback situation is what about the old guys? What about Collaros, Harris, and Bo Levi Mitchell? Are they going to be all back next year? If one of them decides to retire, and who knows, maybe if they win the Grey Cup, one of them, they'll want to step out as a winner, then that changes everything. All of a sudden, there might be a market for Cody Fajardo. There might be a market for a backup as well. So, yeah, that's going to play out as well, I think, in the whole Cody Fajardo, Trey Ford thing, is what those guys are going to do, especially for Trey, who I don't know if he'd get a chance to be a starter in any of those markets if one of those guys retired, but certainly, if they're moving a guy up to the starter's role, they need to fill a backup role. And Trey's more than capable as a backup. I mean, he's a good quarterback, and I think he's still got potential. And again, the thing I've been saying a lot the last couple of weeks, it seems, is just look around the CFL at all the great quarterbacks. Not one of them is playing for the team he came into or the league with,
true.
right? Like quarterbacks don't become great quarterbacks on the team that they sign with first, and that's just a CFL story. That's all that is. So why would it be different for Trey Ford, right? It's I mean, the only guy I can think of is Ricky Ray, right off, in the last 15 or 20 years or so, right? He came in and he played, he got a chance to play early and he just took over at Edmonton, right? So his movement obviously came later than in his career, right? So, there's not a lot of guys out there who have done that. So I can see Trey moving once or even moving twice before he finds the spot where he's comfortable and is going to be a really good player. I still think he can be a really good player, but he's got to have the right fit, right coach, and the right atmosphere for him. Yeah.
Very true. Very true. All right. Defense. That's a highlight, I guess, for the year. We already talked about our, the young guys stepping up at linebacker. Kenny Logan Jr. If you're Ed Hervey, he's the rookie of the year. If Jalen Garnes stepping up as a rookie, playing both the Sam linebacker position and the safety position. So lots of breakout players, JJ Ross as well. Let's talk a little bit about the defense. Morley, you go first.
To me, the story of the defense is how much better they got as the season went along, and the players we saw emerge. JJ Ross was a delight. I mean, he came in and he had to face the best receivers in the league. His first stretch of games were incredible, the players he had to face. So he's going to be a good one for a long time, I think. So that, to me, he's one of the big finds this year. Mogensen as well, who, we haven't got a big sample size on him yet. I mean, if you're trying to decide between guys, you obviously got a much bigger sample size on Nick Anderson than you do on Mogensen, because you had Anderson for a full season last year. So there is that. But Mogensen emerged and played so well when they needed him late in the year. DeBlanco, too. I mean, you knew DeBlanco's just got, from the moment he came to camp last year, he's just got stud written all over him. The biggest mystery to me is why he didn't get to play much last year on defense. To me, that's kind of that hurt him. But he obviously, I guess it didn't hurt him because he had a pretty good year this year once he got in, right? So, yeah, to me, those are the stories. How good the defense got, especially with all the injuries around them and the emerging young players. Noah Taylor should be a guy of note too, because he had a really good season at that defensive spot. The thing I'm wondering about, I think the linebacker thing might be an easy fix. I can see them bringing 3 of those 4 guys to camp next year and see how it plays out. To me, it's the defensive line. What are they going to do there? What do you do with Brinkman's a beast. I think you want to bring him back. And I don't off the top of my head know the contract situation for all these guys, but Robbie Smith, disappointing year injury wise. I think injuries really hurt him, and he never got a sack right this year. So Jake Serezna, I think you bring him back, and you can make a deal, I think, with him being able to come back because he wants to play here. I talked to him on Saturday, and he wants to play here. There's no doubt about that. So I think there's a deal to be made there, but you got to still find some guys. The D lines. We can't wait 6 or 7 games for them to get sacks next year. They gotta be good off the hop. They got to be productive off the hop, and they can't have the same kind of start this year as they had, or next year as they had this year, because that's they're going to get in a hole again. To me, that's part of the big story for this team, and we've seen it 3 years in a row now. We all end the season. This year feels a little bit better than last year, but 3 years in a row or so, they've played really well at the end of the season, and everyone says, okay, let's get, they're on their way. And then they start 0-7 or 0-6 or 1-6 or whatever it is the next year. So they got to figure out a way to carry over the good vibes that they had at the end of this year into next year. And I don't know how they do that. It's obviously a different coaching staff this year, so they'll handle things differently. I think maybe having a veteran quarterback who was here last year and is hopefully going to be here next year, and Cody will help as well. But to me, it's got to be the carryover, and the defense has got to be a part of that as well. They got to be better at the start of the year next year. Absolutely,
100%. Dave.
Well, just to address the last point from Morley, how you carry it over. They know how Mark Killam, Ed Hervey have established the identity of how they want to play, right? It's a group that cares for each other, but you look at how they play on the field. The character is very high. The fight, the battle is very high. And to quote Mark Killam, they just have to get rid of these stretches of bad football, right? And I think that's the next stretch, or the next step, is just becoming more consistent with your play. And I agree with Morley. The defense has to be a big part of that for sure. I'll stay with the D line. Man, camp's going to be spicy with the competition, with the vets and the young blood. I mean, remember a name from the draft, Darian Newell, is going to be available because he got suspended from U Sports. And what did Ed Hervey say on draft night? He said Darian Newell is the best U Sports player in the last 3 years, right? So, and he's going to come in hungry, right? And something to prove. And, he said, Ed Hervey said there's going to be questions about, okay, are you going to come in with the right attitude, right? After what happened, after sitting for 1 year watching. So that's interesting. But yeah, I mean, I would like to bring Jake back. Brinkman's a beast. That guy's an amazing player. And he played through so much stuff, shoulder and foot and ankles, and time, especially on the road where, he's limping on, after the game, and that's so much pain. And you're like, I don't know how he's going to play the next week, and missing
Kenny
practices.
Kenny from South Park just keeps coming back. You killed Kenny, you bastard. He comes back next week. He's that was basically that's Brinkman right there. Yeah.
I think the decisions have to be like Robbie Smith was a major disappointment, and I didn't notice him very much at all when he played, right? Brandon Barlow I like a lot, but could you get something better at that position? Now, that being said, he was one of their better defenders. He was really good. Linebacking core, I like how Joe DeBlanco got better as the year got longer. Same with Brock Mogensen. Nick Anderson was like, boy, getting hurt was really rough. This is the worst year he's had with injuries. So I would love to see him back. Just a little bit of redemption story. But they like Mogensen a lot. They like Blanco. The one thing I think both players have to do better is they got caved in on pass coverage, and especially Joel. They got to be better in that area. But I mean, Joel was like a top 3 run defender this year. That's how good he was. The strengths in the secondary, there's no question. I think the big question for me is, will Tyrell Ford be back? Because does he want to come back? If he does, that's fine with me. All of us, I'm sure. And safety, Royce Metier, injuries didn't help, but when he played, again, really struggled, right? So Chandler Garnes came in and played well. And I like what Kenny Logan did in the Sam linebacker spot too. But JJ Ross, Cordell Jackson, Kobe Williams, this was their most consistent phase. Which you don't always get, right? But I think
we didn't. We were not saying that at the beginning of the season.
No,
we were like, "Oh no, who's going to be in the secondary?"
But how you hear like the D line helps the defensive backs. I thought the defensive backs was helping the D line more than the other way, right?
Yeah.
And it goes back to JC Sherritt, and Aaron Grimes and D-Max and doing a really good job of growing together as a staff throughout the year. I think it was around, that game at home against the Argos where I first noticed in August, man, they're aggressive. Now they put the shackles off of them and they're allowing them to play a little more free. They just got to learn to close out games more, but that also the offense has to learn how to close out games too. So it's just that attitude that you got to carry over or that you have to develop, that we are going to lock this game down. Because if you go back to the years, a decade ago, in that Grey Cup era, and they were, with Michael Riley and the good defenses and stuff, man, they played a lot of low event games. And maybe the run game wasn't working, but there's 6 minutes to go, and we're going to ram the damn ball down your throat, and you can't do a damn thing about it, right? It's really good. I'm sorry, kids, for my language. I'm sorry. I shouldn't say that. I just get fired up. Yes. But you just want to be good finishers, and you want to have the attitude like you're done and we're going to close up shop here, and not have what happened in Toronto and in Hamilton, or don't make Saskatchewan and Winnipeg at home so darn suspenseful. But they got to get there, but they're well on their way. And I will say this, there is a clear separation from this group to the previous 4 years. There is clear separation. They just got to put it all together on the field, and they got to get more W's.
Yeah.
It's so funny that you say that too, because it's not even just like here in the 4 years, it's the 4 years plus maybe even like the first third of this season too, right? It's that's how much that defense has grown, especially like you said, the DBs. Like they just shine. And it's evident when you're playing against yourself how much you separate where you started to where you finished. So cool.
Yep. We were talking about big trades, Morley. I think at this point we would say this is a big trade.
Oh, shut your hole.
No. I meant it was a good trade last year. Is what I know. If Tim said that and put it that way, and we're like, no, and he meant cosmic, just pointing out a trade that was made, and it was a good big trade last year.
Absolutely.
Right?
I believe I did say a trade that was made and helped both teams. I think that trade only helped one team, really.
It really,
yeah,
exactly, yeah.
That's true.
I told Dave, hey, I mean, it's been a while. Why don't we have an 8-for-8 trade? When are we going to do that? Like, that'll be
fun.
That was a big.
I don't know how cap compliant that would be, but anyway.
Whatever. It's all about fun.
And if we knew that they were putting an MBT in that last Montreal game, we would not have picked Montreal to win.
That's fair. That's
true.
I was still going to pick them.
Are you?
Linda, I can't wait to see your record next year, Linda. It's going to be unbelievable. Okay, Kayla, let's talk about special teams.
Cool. Can I just say something about the defense, though?
Yes. No, that's fine. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I mean, you guys, you wrapped it up pretty perfectly, but I have to say, I can't not say how thrilled and how happy and joyful I am to see that Cordell won that Defensive Player of the Year for the Elks. Well deserved. I just, from where he was to who he has become, for me, I could see it. I could see that potential and I could see that type of player he could be. And he damn well proved me right. And I'm ecstatic. Awesome job, KJ. Just needed to say that. Good
I
job,
love the way he
Cordell.
plays. I love watching him play. He's a little guy, but man, he gets his hits and he makes his plays and he's all over the place. He was fun to watch this year for sure.
Absolutely. And got a special teams touchdown. Like, how cool. Leads me into my special teams little Randy do. Oh, look at that. Look how that worked out. Oh, what else can you say except our punting and kick, like, hi, goodbye. With Cody Grace and Jake Julian. I got a Jackson
really like
on my
those
mind.
Jackson guys.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But even though they both played this season, their combined record still became the first overall in the CFL with 5,172 yards combined total. And that is first place.
That's
I think that
kind of
the
an
closest
indictment
to
on
is
the offense too, though, right?
Yeah, that
means they're punting a lot.
We don't talk about that right now. We went over that. We're talking about special
They
teams.
they both had a 50+ average, I believe, too, right? So, which is pretty,
well, for average yards,
yeah, per punt.
Cody, well, I don't know how, like, I'm assuming these stats are correct, but I wrote down Cody was 48.9 and Jake was 51.1.
There you
go.
So
basically,
close enough.
You're correct.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think, like you said, like the cover this year was much better. We special teams, there wasn't really a lot to say in the negative. I think if we had to say something, it was just, was looking at some wild, I don't know if I can pull it up, but for Blanchard, he was very below average in terms of like all of the CFL, and they had a ratio of like field goals or converts kicked from 0 to 16, nailed them all. From 16 to like 32, I think he missed like one. But the more you went up, his average fell significantly. And we all know Sergio Castillo got like that 62-yarder, 2, I think, over 60. And his Blanchard's longest was 52, which is still pretty good. But it's just when you start to get over that 30, 35, it becomes a little bit more inconsistent. He's young. I know people have said nerves and stuff. You're in professional football. So hopefully over the season, he takes a lot of lessons and really, really starts to hone in on his kicking skills. His convert and field goal percentage was 77.8. So it doesn't sound, too bad. But when you go up against Sergio Castillo's in the league, like you're going to be significantly lower. But at least we had Brett Lother, who was garbage this season. So Vincent looks a little bit better.
I don't have it in front of me, but I'd like to compare Castillo's first year in the CFL to Blanchard's first year in the CFL. Right? Don't forget, he's been around for a long time, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Blanchard's young. I love the way. I mean, everybody wrote him off after week one, right? He missed 2 field goals. He missed a convert. Everybody wrote him off. He hit like 39 straight converts after that. He missed his first convert and hit every one after that all season long. He had a 13 field goal streak going as well. He missed some, obviously, but I think he's got a great leg. He was in the top 2 almost all year in kickoff average. For especially when you take the short kicks out, he was number 1 for the longest time when you take the short kicks out. I like him. I think he's going to be good. I think he's a good find, and I'm not concerned about the kicking game at all going into next year.
But that's when you have to say numbers, like Morley. That it, huh?
I have your numbers, Morley. Very first year for Sergio Castillo, 76.9%.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
and everybody wanted to write him off.
That's right.
And a lot of people did. He got, think about the team. He's been on a lot of teams, and some teams 2 and 3 times, right? So, yeah.
But when you have to come up with a negative, that's the only negative I could really find for like special teams. Come on, man. I mean, you had Javon Leak back there. It's like our return game was back, and it felt so much better to actually gain yards. What a treat.
Yes, absolutely. I do agree. I do share the same concern about Blanchard, Kayla. But when I compare, or when I look at, if you look between the first game of the season to the last 2 games, he was clipping around 85% or maybe a little bit more. But yeah, sometimes he would have these drop offs, and he did his job. I mean, this offense settled for too many field goals in some key games, and he was there, and give him some kudos too. I mean, he was the punter for a couple games, and or about 2.5 games. He did a pretty admirable job there too. So, but I'm with you, Kayla, that a little bit more consistency would be good as well, because you can't be a 77% kicker and say that's adequate. So, but there was a stretch of time, a long stretch, where he was an 85 plus. So that's
I like his work ethic too. I mean, like Dave, we were doing our last video of the year. We were going to do it down in the end zone. At the other end, the far end of the field in the north side, but we couldn't do it because he was out there for probably half an hour after practice, just kicking field goals all by himself. He'd kick 7 or 8 balls, then he'd go and get them, bring them back, he'd kick them again. So he's committed. He's going to work at it, and I think he's got a pretty bright future.
Well, that's exactly what we need in the off season, right? It's the whole point of just the reflection of the whole year and what you can get better at, and I mean, because he's young, he has that agility to improve where he needs to and be more flexible. And like you just said, that actually really lightened my heart, because I love Sergio Castillo. He's a great human being, a great kicker. Yep. And to see those stats, where he started to where he is, that's super exciting. Super exciting. Not to say that that's who he is, Vincent, but that's who he could be, something like a Castillo. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I wouldn't be upset about that.
No.
Dave, Morley, anything to add on the special team side?
Well, just like Javon Leak was very, very good this year, and it's just down to he trusted Mark Killam and the scheme, and he trusted the blocks in front of him, and he wasn't doing anything outside what he was supposed to do, right? And he got 2 punt return touchdowns, and plus, those are the home runs, right? But the singles, the doubles, the triples. So the 10 to 20 yard returns are very, very important to set up the offense. His kickoff returns were very good. He didn't play much offense, and he kind of got, when he was in the offense as the running back, he got victimized just like Justin Rankin did. But what a season. I mean, did he finish the year as the combined yards leader? Because he was right up there.
He was second, I believe.
Pretty good year though.
And he was also all year, he was 1, 2, or 3 in punt return average too. So I mean, he was up over 13 for most of the year. So those are good numbers, couple of touchdowns. He did. He had a fine year. He did finish first.
I didn't.
Somebody looked okay.
But I was going to say they actually had 3 punt return touchdowns, because Cordell Jackson's fumble was counted as a punt return touchdown. When's the last time that happened?
That's true,
right?
It's a long time ago, let me tell you. Yeah, a galaxy far, far away. Yeah. I knew you'd appreciate that, Dave. Yes, I put that in there.
Dave, you were pretty much like right on with the kickoff average is 22.89. I had that written down, so
that's pretty good.
Yeah,
that is pretty good. We will take it. So lots of good things on the team as we come around to that. We usually go through our awards near the end of the season, and I know you guys were part of the picking group this year, so I'm kind of excited to go through these really quickly for who's going to pick who. We know what the team picked, and I'll say that at the end, but we'll start with most outstanding rookie. Dave, who'd you pick?
K1. Timmy Logan.
I knew it.
Only
That's
two
why.
people on the panel had it right.
Wrong.
Even though Chalin was a very good choice too. But no, I mean, he was, he had 15 special teams tackles. He played two positions like Chalin, but found a home at Sam, linebacker. I just like what he did. I like what Chalin did too, but I thought, this is a very versatile player. I mean, to have 15 special teams tackles or more and play defense, on a fairly regular basis because of injuries, I thought that was pretty impressive. So only Mark Killam and I got that one right.
Okay, enlighten me. K1.
I don't know.
He's just making it up.
Oh,
That's his nickname. That's his nickname.
From Dave. Yeah.
oh, well
Morley,
then.
who'd you pick?
My pick was Chalin Garnes. Much like the majority of people out there, I picked Chalin Garnes.
Okay, yeah, perfect.
Took some abuse for it, but I picked Chalin Garnes.
Yeah.
I wonder by who.
From the GM too.
Yeah, yep, exactly. Linda, who do you have on there?
I had the one we talked about last week that I found out was ineligible because
JJ Ross.
It was JJ Ross. That's
yeah.
And so I never updated. I just stomped my feet and said I'm not playing.
That's fair. That's 100% fair. I would have voted that way too if I had a shot if he was eligible. Kayla,
excuse my naivete. Why was he ineligible? Did he play
because he played one game last year?
Yeah. Oh,
yep. And as soon as you play one, then it's not your rookie year anymore. So, yeah, I thought it was going to be him, but it wasn't. So, so who do you got otherwise?
I feel like Dave and I have like one brain and it's freaky because I think I would have went for Kenny Logan too.
Oh, there. See, I think you're just saying that you wanted Dave to clap.
I'm not though. That's why I did so weird.
But she's so right and wise. Like, yeah.
All right. Well, I picked Chalin. I picked Chalin for two reasons. One, he played every game on the defense, and he played two different positions. Three, really, on the last game he had to play half. So and I just we didn't bring his name up a whole lot because he was doing what he was supposed to do. So I like Chalin's consistency. Yes, Kenny Logan has some interceptions and some special teams tackles, and I agree that that's great. But he also did a lot more things that I was like, don't. Why is that guy doing that? So where I didn't have that with Chalin Garnes. So that's why I went with Chalin Garnes, who also what the team said was Chalin Garnes. So
I
really in the long run, you and I got right.
And because I interviewed him and he was nice. I thought that was
I was going to throw that in there. He is a great interview. Yeah. Much better than the other Jalen that is on the team. It's not a very good. It was a very tough interview. Poor guy.
Can't be good at everything.
Yes. Brock Mogensen, he reminded me of like a middle grade kid that was just so excited about everything when you tried to talk to him.
He was so cute. Oh my gosh. That smile.
All right. Let's go to most outstanding defensive player. Morley, you get to go first.
Talked about him already. Cordell Jackson was everywhere all season long. Fun to watch. Made big plays, scored touchdowns, did a lot. He was just he was a heart and soul for that defense.
Absolutely. Linda?
No, I literally stamped my feet and didn't play.
Well, you didn't play at all. Oh, no, like none at all. After JJ Ross, that was it. Okay. All right. Then. All right, Commissioner.
Cordell.
Yeah, I said picked Cordell. I'm going to assume you picked Cordell, Dave.
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
You what?
He was definitely up there for consideration for me. And I'll tell you who I ended up picking and who I would have picked if I had a revote. I picked Tyrell Ford because I thought his consistency was to be rewarded. Oh, don't give me that look, Andrew. But I thought he got kind of no one would throw to him because there's a reason, because he's that good. Now, I don't think he popped like last year, but I thought he was really consistent. Now, if I could revote, I would pick JJ Ross.
Okay.
He was incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Amazingly well. Yeah, amazingly well. Yeah. I would agree. All right, let's go to
Wait.
most outstanding special.
Who did you pick?
Oh, I picked Cordell Jackson. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and as did the team, Cordell Jackson. So there we go. Most outstanding special teams player. Linda's not playing, so commissioner.
I don't know. Javon Leake, I guess. I would.
Okay.
Like I don't.
Yeah, that's who I picked.
I
Javon
will.
Leake. Yeah,
because Cody and Jake kind of split the can't really pick.
I will say
so.
if Jake was here the whole year, it would have been a no-brainer. I would have gone for Jake, but
no, yeah, you kind of have to at that point go with Javon.
As we said, Javon led the league in yards,
and
had 2 touchdowns. So the job of a kick returner is to get yards, and he led the league in yards. So to me, that makes him the most outstanding special teams player. It's a no-brainer for me.
That's a pretty good argument, Morley. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Dave,
Javon League.
Yeah, okay, I've kind of
hands down.
That was an easy one. I think this is also an easy one, but we shall see.
Okay, stop. You have to actually say who yours is. You can't.
I said right as you said it. I said Javon Leake. That's who I picked as well.
You have to say I pick, not just the.
Sorry, I picked Javon Leake. And
there
the
you
team
go.
Did too.
I'm not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll just get along.
Okay. Well,
no, makes it less. No, you gotta have some spice.
It's gotta have a little bit of fun. Our favorite one every year, because there is only Mool, the most outstanding offensive lineman. For Kayla, I picked David Beard this year for most outstanding offensive lineman. Yeah. So
bravo.
Yeah, is that better? Okay, thanks.
I love it.
Dave.
I debated so hard. How can I really pick Carter O'Donnell? Can I really do that? And
I wanted to.
I said no, I can't. He just didn't play enough games, so I picked David Beard.
I was going to pick Carter O'Donnell, but Dave talked me out of it. So, so I went with the flow. Right.
Well done, Commissioner.
Yeah.
Oh no! You have to,
Commissioner. You have to say I picked.
That's right. That's right. Thanks, Morley.
But the sentiment is correct too.
I can't. Like I'm just so disappointed this year that it's physically hard for me to award. Is that cruel? Is that too mean?
It's a bit petty. Yeah.
We'll
see what he says when he comes on the show next year. Yeah. Kayla couldn't pick. Yeah.
He's a nice person and I like him a lot.
Yeah. Yes.
It's not his fault entirely.
Okay. Good.
No, overall, David had a good year.
He did. Yeah.
There you go. That's my pick.
All right. This one should be an easy one as well, I believe. Most outstanding Canadian, or the mock in this particular scenario. Dave, you get to go first.
I butchered this one too.
Did you?
Because I picked Tyrell Ford because I'm like, I picked him MOD, so I'm kind of locked into MOC. If I had a revote, it would have been Joe DeBlanco.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Morley?
Joel DeBlanco.
Mm-hmm.
Linda, do you want to pick this one? Or
I would have picked him if I was still playing.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Kayla?
Joel DeBlanco.
Yeah, it's a sweep. I picked Joel DeBlanco, as did the team. I just thought he was amazing out there for a Canadian. Again, this one, most outstanding player. Now, the trick on this one that a lot of people get mixed up in is it's not most valuable player, it's most outstanding player. So most outstanding player, starting with you, Morley.
Easy. I mean, it's Justin Rankin, right? I don't think there's any other choice on the way the year went and the plays he made. I mean, he game in and game out brought everybody to their feet, whether they're in the broadcast booth, in the stands, or sitting on the couch. He brought you to your feet every night. So
yeah,
he's my choice.
Good pick, Commissioner.
Yeah, it has to be Justin Rankin, and I know it's MLP, but just in the terms of MVP, like you were saying, Morley, he brought fans to their feet. His personality and his character and his work ethic on the field it kind of just encapsulates exactly who MOP would be and an MVP is. So kind of blending the two terms together is Justin Rankin. Unfortunately, he carried that offense. He is just spice, and I love it. And I don't mean unfortunately in a bad way, but it's just you want to see like more diversity when it comes to your offense. But can you imagine though, if that run game was implemented to the skill of Justin Rankin and not just how Meximic wanted to coach?
Yeah, maybe.
No, it's true.
I also picked the player that graduated from You Ain't Seen Nothing Like It University, Justin Rankin. I told him on Saturday that is the greatest intro I have ever heard, and I love every time I hear it. So, also gave him a Turf District T-shirt. So hopefully we'll see a picture.
And his poses are just bar none. Like,
oh, he's amazing. Dave,
Big play rank.
yes,
as Mark Killam would call him. He was led the league in big plays. He was, sadly, most of his production was through the big player, the home run kind of plays. But man, he was spectacular. I don't know how many times he turned a simple play into something special and ended up in a touchdown. So he was spectacular this year. I mean, if it was MVP, it's Cody Fajardo, I think. Or maybe most MIP, most important player, I would say it would have been Cody Fajardo for sure. But this is most outstanding. This is the best player on the team, and it is Justin Rankin.
He was outstanding.
He was outstanding in his field. He's a farmer. It's that was dad joke for you, just for you, Dave.
Walk. Anyway.
Yeah.
But I also appreciated too with Cody Fajardo how he actually like spoke in the media veils. Like he actually he was louder than a lot of the players. Like he vocalized. What is the word I'm looking for? He was loud.
He was.
What is that word? Like
he was
like he could actually.
He projected.
I could hear him. I could hear him. He projected. He actually projected. I could hear every single word he was saying because I was kind of behind the cameras. So thank you, Cody, for projecting. It just made my experience a hell of a lot better.
Yeah, wow. You also kept getting good pictures. That was a good thing all year.
But because he spoke up, he brought my attention to what he was saying, and I was like, "Oh, what did you just say?" Like, and all the other players were like, "What did you just say?"
So you Morley'd all the other players, right? Like what? Pardon? Yeah. Okay.
What?
Exactly. Good job. Only just because we're recording live and we need to keep people updated. The Blue Jays win. They are up 2 games to 1. That's exciting.
2-2.
2-2, right? Sorry, 2-2. You're right. Sorry, right. That
Game
I
6
see
in Toronto.
That last game I didn't. I fell asleep, and I think it was I think it was 14th inning. I was like, I forget this. I gotta sleep. So there you go. A couple of comments that came in here. JJ Ross was excellent. Hope we have him for a while. I agree. He was excellent. I'm just going to say here. Oh, Mr. Prometheus agrees with Dave. Great choices, Dave.
Just all around.
In general, I think for special teams, I think this is somebody was voting for Jake Julian, who I still think he was robbed of the most outstanding special teams player of the year last year. He should have won that by a mile.
Yep.
Oh, Mr. Prometheus saying DeBlanco ahead of Ford. Nah. And I'm like,
Yes.
Yeah. Lots of people picking Rankin for MOP. Leanne, Will saying that he is the complete package.
Yeah.
Cliffy asking probably about Cody. He yelled. Like, yeah.
No, he projected.
Didn't even swear this time.
Well, he's a dad. He has to. He understands
there's projection.
He's an excellent orator.
Orator.
What's the word? Orator. Yeah. There you go.
He's a good interview. He's a good interview. Yeah.
He is. Yeah.
All right. Well, that was a ton of fun. I think we should have some other fun. And it's just because I don't know if you guys are aware of the absolute hit new segment on the Turf District podcast that is bringing people in from all over the country to watch this show because it is the most fun and informative at the same time.
I don't even drink, and I can't wait for it.
Right? All right. It's time for, let's get into this first down this beer. First down this beer. All right. The best part is Linda laughs every time we
She cracks herself up.
That's not me.
That's just outstanding.
It's just funny.
So great. Welcome back, Linda. Thank you. I want to just say up front, this has been an absolute joy to have you doing this segment. I love it every week. I look forward to whatever you bring for us and your suggestions. I've had many of them. I had an oatmeal stout at the tailgate last week, which I don't usually ever have, but it was amazing. It was so good with it. So thank you for all of the work that you've put in, and I'm excited to see what you have for us tonight.
Okay, well, I was going to cut it back, but it looks like I'm all in.
Okay.
Thank you. I do want to say thanks to Morley and Dave. I don't know if you know about Good Robot Brewing in Halifax, but they have a series beer called Dave and Morley.
Oh, really?
No way.
They do, and they think it's based on Stuart McLean's Vinyl Cafe characters, but we all know better, don't we?
You do.
Unfortunately, I could not get any for the podcast. So I think we've talked a lot about. I was going to talk about 2 beers about how I felt about football coming to the end of the season, and 2 looking forward. All I'll say about the Calgary game that I haven't said so far is they scored in 4 quarters and we only got points in the third. So I think it's fair to say that they had us by the fluffy tufts.
Fluffy Tufts. Wow.
Fluffy Tufts. Okay. So this is Fluffy Tufts is an Imperial Hazy IPA, a collaboration between Establishment in Calgary and Badlands Brewing in Ontario. Who knew there would be Badlands in Ontario? Anyway, this is an Imperial IPA, meaning high alcohol. So this is a 9.2.
That is hazy. Oh,
I was going to say, it looks like orange juice.
It's completely opaque and dangerously crushable. So there's getting melons, berries, tropical fruit, and you're kind of getting that cereal creaminess like you would have got with an oatmeal stout.
Okay.
Okay, so that's fantastic. So I guess if you're going to be brought up by the Fluffy Tufts, this is the one you should go with. So, then I wanted to talk about which parts of our season were the green killer. This is green killer. Okay. And I have to look at. I've never had a head
What
like
is
this.
that?
That's the foam. So I wanted to leave it to show you. It curled out. So
congealed.
It's weird. So this is from a brewery we've had already on the show this year, from Brasserie de Silly in Belgium.
Okay.
Oh my, that is quite
bad. It is a dry hopped IPA. And they say it's an IPA to savor. I feel like I'm in a head shop. It actually smells less like hops and more like dope, but okay, it is in fact a green killer. But I don't think that's what got our team.
In fact, it would have. The only thing that would have been better is if you had like a sink to just dump it out onto. That's a green killer.
Well, I'm gonna let it sneak up on me again.
Okay.
Okay. So looking forward, what do we need to do? And we've talked about it tonight. We need to scout. So, but not for very many positions, I hope. I really like what we've got, and I feel like we're close. So this is from Tree Brewing in Vancouver, and it's their Scout series. And this is called Hang Time, a good football term. Watermelon Gosa.
Oh.
Watermelon Gosa.
So
Okay.
a Gosa is a German sour beer. And and Gosas are usually made with coriander, salt, and what else goes in them? Oh, lactic acid bacteria. So it's a little bit pink. A little bit pink, I think, from the watermelon compared to that, right?
Yeah.
Drum roll, please.
Oh my gosh, like it's quite delicious. I think Mike would love it. It kind of tastes like a sweaty watermelon, like from all of the salt, but in a good way.
It's chilling.
I'm like a sweaty watermelon, so it tastes like a rider? What's going on?
Oh. Okay, you've ruined it for me. There's one.
Yeah.
You did. You said that. You said
so. The other thing that's very cool about this series from Tree Brewing, their Scout series, is this is a peel-off badge that I can now wear. And you know I will.
I know you will. Yes.
And then finally, the last one, and I haven't even opened it, and I don't think I will tonight, but what we need next is forward progress. I'm trying to get it out of the light.
Forward progress. Is that Annex?
This is from Annex Ale Project in Calgary, one of my favorite breweries. This has been one of their core beers since they opened their door. It's a 5.2 pale ale, just nice balance, a bit of citric, long, nice, flavorful finish. This would be one that I would grab if I didn't know what else to grab. So I think we're into scouting, we're into forward progress. We got a lot of gratitude for the year we've just had and for our time together. And so I just want to say thanks and cheers, everybody.
Oh,
cheers.
amazing.
Bravo.
Yes. Amazing. Thank you, Linda. I have loved every moment that you've brought for us this season. Lots of laughs, lots of great options, and lots of great fun. So thank you for doing that all season for us. It's been amazing.
I can't wait to read your book.
Yeah, I know, right? And the and all the new ones that will come next year. It'll be exciting.
Yes.
Before we sign off,
wait, hang on. Before you do that,
yes, sure.
No, just again, I want to thank Linda too. I've learned so much, and some of those beers that you have introduced to us have become like a staple. I have a cabin Simple Pleasures in my fridge right now because that English mild is so freaking delicious. And I don't know if I've had cabin, but they, like you said, they won the Alberta Liquor. Yes, them and Old Beautiful. And thank you so much. Thank you, Linda. I thoroughly enjoy, especially a tailgate when we personally get to swap beers too. And I've loved every minute of it.
Thanks,
girl power.
Yeah. Nice. All right. Well, we're coming into the playoffs, and that means one thing. We need to do a slightly different version, but I mean, we still got to figure out who we want to win, right?
You get a point, and you get a point, and you get a point. It's pick 'em, it's pick 'em, it's pick 'em.
All right. So we know the East semi, we know the West semi. We can pick who we think we know who one of the teams in each of the finals, and who we might think be getting to the Grey Cup, and who might take home the prize this year, being that our next show isn't until after the big game. So we'll start with Winnipeg at Montreal this coming Saturday. And remember, the games are moved up a little bit just because the possibility of a Game 7 with the Blue Jays. So make sure that you're tuning into your local multiple times to know when that's going to happen. Winnipeg at Montreal. Kayla, who are you picking?
I think there's something you should say before I pick the playoffs.
I already said last week that you
I wasn't
won.
on. Say it again.
You were not, okay. Congratulations, Kayla, on winning Pick'ems this year.
Hey,
Yes. Your final record was 55-26, which is an incredible Pick'em
dominance.
record. Mike finished with 48-33, and I finished with 41-40. Hey, one game over 500. That's fine by me. Yep. Okay, so congratulations, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Now, who are you picking? Winnipeg, Montreal?
Montreal. Because I'm
right.
so tired of seeing Winnipeg.
Fair
and
enough.
they do not deserve to be in Winnipeg.
Okay. Fair enough. Linda?
Well, you got your MOPs, your MVPs, and you got your MBTs.
Pick Winnipeg.
Picking Montreal. Okay. Yeah, if it was actually MBT, you'd pick Winnipeg.
Oh my gosh.
Fair. Dave.
You're too hard on them.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. You know, if I think Montreal is going to win this game, but there's a little bit of me that says Winnipeg has enough of that veteran savvy that they could scare the living daylights out of Montreal.
Fair.
And I think they'll be ready for this, but I think Montreal's too dynamic, and I think there are too many question marks on that Winnipeg defense. And so I'll pick Montreal.
All right, Morley.
Winnipeg will be at the Grey Cup if they bought a ticket. They will lose to Montreal this week. I'm calling Montreal to win. Although if Davis Alexander is going to ever lose a game, I can see it being to Winnipeg. But I think Montreal's my pick in the East right the way through. I think so. I like the Alouettes. Once they get healthy, they're a good team.
Me too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, we'll make that a clean sweep as I'll be picking Montreal as well. The Western semi, Calgary at BC out in Vancouver. Linda, you get to pick first this time.
Roar, you Lions, roar.
Yep. Okay, fair enough. Dave?
Oh, the Lions. I mean, their offense is so good. Now their defense is playing much, much better. Their special teams are good. Calgary's offense is just, I don't, other than Mills, and I know VA can get it going, but they take so long to get going sometimes, and sometimes they don't even get going. Their defense is good. They'll give Rourke a little bit of trouble, but I think Rourke has figured them out. I think Rourke, and this could be one of those blowout games too. I think Lions win and potentially big.
Wow. Okay. Morley?
I think Rourke's figured out a lot of teams in the Canadian Football League. After watching the BC Lions 2 weeks ago against the Elks, I'll take BC over Calgary.
That's fair. I will also take
all that in a bag of chips right now.
Yeah, they are that. I will also take the BC Lions and Nathan Rourke to take down the Calgary Stampeders. And Kayla?
Good luck, VA, but no. BC.
Still friends, though. Still friends.
Good luck, VA, but no.
Well, I mean, I got you in orange and black over there, so it's kind of like,
You know what we're gonna say on Saturday night? We're gonna be all saying the Stampeders lose. That's what we're gonna be saying, and it's gonna be great.
Ghosts of his past.
So good about that. All right. Next, so I guess we've all picked the same all the way around. So the East final, as far as we're concerned, is going to be Montreal visiting Hamilton. And Linda, you get to pick out of those two teams.
Well, it ain't this guy. Montreal.
Whoever do you mean?
Dave?
Yeah, I'd say the Alouettes, and it's a one-game shot, so you never know. But I think Hamilton can play so inconsistent at times, and I think Montreal, they're just rolling right now. So yeah, I think the Alouettes get to the Grey Cup.
All right, Morley.
Alouette,
yeah, you said all the way through. Okay. I will go do the same and say Montreal will get through to the Grey Cup. Kayla?
Yeah, Montreal, but I don't know why I almost said Hamilton. Something's wrong with me.
You've been possessed.
I've been possessed.
Linda's like, you don't have enough beer. What's going on?
Hey, this ABV is 10.6%. So maybe
Oh, okay.
that's the
Maybe
problem.
that might be. Is that Black Bull? What are you drinking?
It's Town Square Brewing. It's a Irish whiskey beer.
Oh, wow.
It's intense.
You don't
That's
say.
all I'll say. But no, I'll sweep this one too.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. West final. We picked the same. So we have BC visiting Saskatchewan. Dave, who do you got?
You know, Nathan Rourke in a bit of cold weather can be a neutralizing factor. I still think that he's good enough to win in those elements. And I like Saskatchewan's defense. I like their offense. I mean, the good team outside of their kicking game with Lowther is very much a worry. But I think in games like this, if they can keep a low event, I think Saskatchewan can win this game. But I think they're going to try. Nathan Rourke's and company are going to try and push the pace. And I just don't see Trevor Harris and the offense being able to keep up. Lions.
Oh, all right then. Morley?
BC Lions. I'm just looking at the weather forecast. I'm just looking on my phone here. It doesn't go to that Saturday, but it goes up to the Thursday. It's going to be 7 degrees in Regina on Thursday. So
it's good enough.
It looks like the weather's going to be okay. It could be an issue for Rourke, but I'm picking BC. I think they're just too good.
That's fair. I am so my heart says BC. My brain is struggling though because it's Saskatchewan at home after having a bye.
Yeah.
And I understand that BC is I think they're playing outstanding football right now. Nathan Rourke is firing on all cylinders. So I don't know. I'm going to go with the heart pick just because I can't possibly assume that other team gets to the Grey Cup. So BC it is for me. And that's what I'm hoping for. So Kayla.
I understand. I feel you. I'm going to go with my head.
Oh, you're going to pick
I picked Saskatchewan from last year.
Yeah.
I'll stick to it.
Okay. All right. Linda?
Well, I'm going BC, not because I think they're that good, but just because I don't like Saskatchewan that much.
Fair.
That's fair. Okay, so we only have one difference in Grey Cup opinion. So other than Kayla, we all have BC facing Montreal in the Grey Cup. Kayla has Saskatchewan facing Montreal. So Morley, who do you have to take home the trophy?
Sounds like Davis Alexander's first loss will be in the Grey Cup game, which will haunt him for a while. I'll take the BC Lions to win the Grey Cup.
Wow, that's amazing. I am also going to say that the BC Lions take home the Grey Cup. I will be happy either way if it's Montreal versus BC. I am happy for those teams. I don't have anything to begrudge either one of them. And so I'd be happy if either one of them won. But I do think that the BC Lions, now depending again, you did say weather could play a role. It's in Winnipeg. But I don't think either quarterback, I think both quarterbacks will have it rough in the cold. So we'll see how that goes. But yes, I will put the BC Lions on that pedestal for this one. Kayla, you have Saskatchewan playing Montreal. So who do you have winning the cup?
Well, I just want to say, I hope it's a little colder because I ordered myself a heated vest and I want to put it to use, damn it. I need this purchase to be like relevant.
Okay.
I feel that there's going to be some green confetti sprinkling over a very blue field. I'm sticking with Sask.
No, I think that's anthrax.
It's a different form.
It could be. Linda, you have BC and Montreal. So
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with the Moss Machocha former Edmonton contingent. I'm going Montreal.
All right. And Dave, who do you got?
Yeah, I really like the Lions to get to the Grey Cup. I like the Alouettes to win. Because I think I'll pick the veteran experience with Jason Moss and company. No Thorpe, the defensive coordinator, and Morley. We disagree. Davis Alexander is going to be really, really happy the next day. Really happy.
All right. Well, from a few people listening in, Hamilton and BC in the Grey Cup. Now, I actually love the story of this because then one of the droughts ends. But
yeah,
I'd feel better about it if the wall-eyed bastard wasn't playing for Hamilton. So I will say that Randy, I get it. I love the story of it. But that's yeah, I don't know about that. Leanne saying that it's Montreal and Riders in the final. And so that's an interest. Well, we had that call from you there, Kayla. So there we go. Then let me just go down to Chris here said my Bet365 account has had money on Saskatchewan since June. So yeah, and it's not a bad bet. So and long-term forecast they're saying right now for the Grey Cup is -7 for a low. So that's actually not just enough to use that best. Yeah. Mr. Prometheus saying Hamilton, BC and Montreal, BC were both very dramatic this year. So so there could be some fun and games as we get into the big game at the end of the year. So on that note, we will our programming note is that we will be back on November the 25th, I believe it is. It's a Tuesday. Is that it? Yeah, 25th. Yep. So that's a week and a bit after the Grey Cup. That gives us some time to break down all of the playoffs and the Grey Cup. But also then if there's any moves that happen shortly after the Grey Cup, we'll have a chance to report on that. Then we'll take our off-season break until January, unless something massive happens, then we'll probably do a SPEP episode of some kind. But we'll be back in January to do every couple of weeks until we get to the season where we go back to our weekly schedule. So Dave and Morley, thank you so much for coming on tonight. Morley, I know you have an early morning in the morning. I'm sorry to keep you so late, but I always love having you here to chat.
It's worth it.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Might not be at 3:30 when my alarm goes, but it's worth it.
Right now, it's fine. Yeah. Morley, where does everybody find you online and follow you guys along?
Morley_Scott on the TwitX and on Instagram as well. You won't see much, but Milo, pictures of Milo on Instagram especially. But yeah, they'll be there. Oh, and the new baby's coming in December, so there'll be some new pictures then. So yeah, Morley_Scott on both. And I'll tell you about my programming change. The Elks this week. We had our last Monday night show last night. We're going to switch to Saturdays, which will begin Saturday morning, 9:30 on 880 CHED, and that will start on November the 8th. We'll go for a month and then take a break for the holidays. Be back in the New Year's to talk about the countdown to training camp after that. So I think come back middle of January after that. So.
Fantastic. And Dave, where does everybody find you?
On TwitX at Dave_Ched. And on Instagram, I realized I have to change this because I looked at it tonight because I never remember what it is, my handle, but it's Dave_Campbell 630, which has to change to 880.
Right.
So those little foxes are still hanging around there. Yeah. And produce Inside Sports with Brendan Escott. When we don't have Oiler games, he's from 6 to 8. Whenever there's any Elks news, definitely audio wise, check the Elks page at 88ched.com. And also just a shout out to we did our videos this year, the End Zone, which you can find on YouTube. Eamon Hashem is is the one that puts all that together. And this young man is tremendous. So I just want to give a shout out to him. You know, you'd always ask, what's the idea? We don't have one. And then, you know, the morning we would do the video, we'd be like, okay, let's just do this. And it worked out great. And his input was great. So that was a lot of fun this year as well.
Bravo.
Awesome. And as always, we love hearing you guys doing the call and chatting with you guys either after practice or after a game. Love your insights and thank you so much for doing both the preseason warm up and the end season wrap up. I love that you guys do this with us. So thank you so much.
Yeah, love you guys. Love the show. Love doing it. Always love hanging out with you guys and talking to you all.
Absolutely. You got my number anytime.
Yeah.
Great to see y'all.
That's fantastic. Linda, where does everybody find you?
On Instagram at TrueBrew42. I don't have a Milo, but I do have a dirty big pile of beer pictures.
Yeah.
I'll make sure to keep Milo away from your Instagram
then. Commissioner?
On Twitter at Duchess Lombardi.
Perfect. And you can, of course, follow our brother, Mike, Superfan Mike, at 56 Parkies. Took me a second to remember that. And the Edmonton History at EDMHISTOREE. I will never forget that one. And you can follow me at Free Policious, or you can follow the show at the Turf District on all of your different social channels. For those of you that have reached out or read any of the 3 Down articles, thank you so much for taking the time. I really appreciate it and love the feedback and the chatter that we get to go around those. So I will be back for those, I hope, next year once the preseason games get going. Before I leave, I always want to say, remember to follow our good friends at Pay It Forward with Football. They do amazing things and they continue to spread kindness in this world, which is more of what we need at this particular time and place. So once again, enjoy all the CFL playoffs. Enjoy the Grey Cup. We will be back on November 25th to talk all about it. For Morley Scott, Dave Campbell, Linda, Commissioner Kayla, and of course, Superfan Mike, I'm Andrew. Remember, you can't catch footballs with your face, and we will absolutely talk to you next week. No, not next week. We'll absolutely talk to you. See, I knew I was going to blow that. Well, talk to you in about a month. That's about right.